Yo, what is up, everybody? Let me see. Are we in? Are we in? Yes. GM. Yeah, AMD. It's looking like it. Probably a decent one. But Jason finally short pounder. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. You need a daily close for sure on that one. But welcome, everybody. Look, we got little avocados. What's up, Victor? You guys. Hilarious. How's the spaces this morning? Spaces decent? Decent. I talked to Sharky. I guess he got in a car accident. That's wild. Yeah, for a short time, short volunteer, go for it. So yeah, thoughts and prayers out to our boy Sharky. Hope you're doing good, man. But yeah, you know what? Let's get into this. So it's still Uptober. Now we need to find out, is it a trick or is it a treat? Some crazy stuff going on in the market. I don't know what happened to SMCI. That I saw like 15% up or something like that. We do have some catalysts that we're gonna get to here in a little bit. But yeah, it's we got earnings season, not this week, but next week. And this week, man, we have a ton of events and a slew of Fed speak. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys, welcome, by the way, if you're new to the channel, give it a like, share the video, retweet it on Twitter, whatever you need. Appreciate all the support. We got the Fed out in full force this week. If you didn't know, we have, I couldn't tell you how many speakers. It's too many to count speakers, basically everybody. And then we have 1, 2, 3 AI events, I guess AI events. Oh, Victor here, Supermicro news, shipping over 100,000 GPUs per quarter, leading in liquid cooling solutions. Yeah, I can believe that. But yeah, we got 1010 for Tesla. We got NVIDIA's AI event, by the way, that happens to start off today. I believe today, NVIDIA on a tear. That's a 3-day event, by the way, that goes through Wednesday. And then another kind of out of the blue event, which maybe I'm behind, maybe I just missed it, but AMD has an advancing AI event as well this week. So also, by the way, on 1010. So let's go ahead and get into it. What we're going to do here, every week we do the same thing, kind of just go over what was important last week, what hit the news wire in terms of economic data, any headlines. If you guys want to talk about anything, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. We will hit all of that. And then we'll go ahead and move forward and look at what's important this coming week. What do we need to watch out for? Any catalysts on deck, etc. So first things first, just the data points, JOLTS. So every Thursday we get this JOLTS data, and this has been moving the market since we bottomed more recently. So every Thursday, just know that the JOLTS data has been moving the markets. It did again. Consensus numbers, by the way, consensus numbers are in parentheses here. So that's what the street is pricing in at any given moment. So when you look at your calendars, this is like consensus and or forecast. That's it. Just doesn't matter if that's higher or lower than the prior week or prior data set. It has nothing to do with anything. The only thing that will ever move a market, and this is as we get into earnings season, this is the same thing. The only thing that moves the market is what the difference is between consensus and what the street, what we come in at. Shalom, good morning. Shalom, May. Appreciate all you guys. ADP came in also actually pretty good. So 143 new jobs per ADP on a consensus of 90K, 103K prior. Initial jobless claims coming in slightly higher at 225K. Really not a big deal versus 220 expected against the 219 prior. ISM services PMI, again, services led economy, so we do watch this stuff. Coming in at 55.2. Anything over 50 on the services PMI is an expansion, or when you see these numbers around the 50s, anything over 50, these are expansions. So that's good for the economy, good for GDP. Butternut, hello. Optimum Metals Banks of you choosing. Oh, got it. We can take a look at that. I think we'll talk about banks, and I think there's a little bit of a split on that one. And then we got the big number of the month. So the big number of the month, non-farm payrolls, comes out every first Friday of the month. This day always, I mean, without question, always sets the tone for the entire month moving forward. The day itself is a regular day, nothing crazy. The data points, look, we keep this as simple as possible. You don't have to be an economist or macro anything to learn how to trade against economic data. If you understand some very basic things, the way that the market digests last Friday, and when I say digests, that means how does it trade moving forward? That's starting today. So the way that the market trades moving forward against last Friday will determine the prevailing trend for whatever asset class you're looking at, right? Typically, I just do this on the indices, but a lot of people started to do this on individual tickers, and to my amazement, it actually works the same so far. But anyways, here's the big thing. Private payrolls, and this is good, right? So private payrolls coming in really hot at 223,000 versus 120K expected against 114 prior. So this is the best part of the actual data, is that the private, what we want to see for a good growing economy is this private payrolls piece growing, right? So this is good for GDP. This is good for earnings. This is good for the stock market in general. Is it good for the rate story? Not so much. So, I mean, now the question is, and if anybody missed the FOMC conference last week, I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, excuse me, Powell had actually shifted his focus away from inflation, not quite declaring victory, but more or less declaring victory, and said, hey, look, we're going to move. He said this, we're going to move the goalposts. So they're not necessarily looking for 2% inflation. What we are landing in, and we are today and have been for the last week or so, and we've been calling this for a while, we are definitively in Goldilocks period. So Goldilocks means inflation is equal to GDP, give or take. And that's exactly where we are. So we are in a Goldilocks market. That is factual, statistically factual. I think it's just a question of whether or not, how long we can stay there, and whether or not this is real, right? And I think that's what, if you're a good bull, you got to know where the bear's kind of logic is. It's right in this area, right? Is it actually a Goldilocks environment or not, right? I say it is. I say it's been. Stock market has said it's been all-time highs. It's not really bullish or bearish, sorry. Government payrolls, 5K estimate. We came in about 31K, about versus 45K prior. That's fine. This is again election season. Manufacturing payrolls. This one was lower. And by the way, a handful of these numbers, these were revised. I can actually tell you, I saved this a little bit ago. Yeah. So the non-farm payroll, the headline. So 150K prior. This was 142. Before, and it was revised up to 159. And then the private payrolls came in at 118. I'm sorry, came in at 114. It was 118 prior, so that came down a little bit. Government payrolls came in 45K prior. Previously, it was 24K. So this was revised up to 45K from 24K. Get that. And manufacturing payrolls came in this last revision at 27K, down 27K. Previous revision, previous number stated was down 24K. Unemployment, no revisions on unemployment. That's good. Street was expecting 4.3. We came in at 4.1. And man, the bears were calling like 4.5. You'll never see lower. Yeah, I remember sitting on a few spaces and I'm like, dude, okay, these guys are, I felt like a little fear mongering. But anyways, here we are, all-time highs still, yet again. And we have even amongst like all kinds of conflict in the Middle East, etc. So notable things that happened last week: U.S. crude stockpiles. This is a headline: are supplied, but gas demand fell due to fell to the lowest levels in 6 months. But Israel's retaliation could include oil facilities, drone plants, etc. This has been moving oil a lot higher. I mean, the oil stocks in general have just kind of been on a I guess you could call it stealth rally if you weren't looking. But hey, you know, we knew for sure. And I believe, yeah, they're kind of pulling back a little bit. Look, we had a big move earlier. I think this one we could stabilize here on oil. Any headlines though, I don't want to be short oil. Like if you want to be short oil, go for it. Be short oil for just a little bit, but watch out, because yeah, a headline could hit you any second on that kind of stuff. Fed. So here's the interesting headlines. If you guys didn't know, the Fed's paper losses topped the 200 billion mark. I saw this and it was really interesting. But here's the article. It's a Reuters article. Fed's paper losses top 200 billion mark. This is, I guess, if you were to say, can I dig out I guess a bearish article or a bearish headline, this would be it. Although I try to be mostly positive. But this is paper losses hit 201.2 billion last Wednesday. That's crazy. And this is basically from them having to pay off mortgages and that they hold, and versus their interest income. Their interest income is not doing it right now. But this is as of 2 years ago, right? So it's just kind of been spiraling. So I think this is like the MBS stuff that they're looking, that the market wants to see the Fed really like cool off on and get some of that off their balance sheet, so they don't have to be in this kind of like deficit. So anyways, that's definitely a headline that, look, if you want to be concerned about anything, God, you know, twist my arm, but that would be it. Let me see. Do you just say losses even? No, because they have not recognized those losses. So it's not like booked or recognized. And then we have these three major events. So NVIDIA AI Summit starts today. I believe it's already started. We can take a look. And that's a 3-day event. And then Tesla, of course, we have 1010. Looks like we're selling off a little bit into that, to be expected. Tesla, by the way, has had a great run, so congrats to that. We'll see what happens from here. I think it's a show me story. We'll take a look at Tesla. I think we should take a look at Tesla just for what levels to watch. I really wouldn't trade anything on it right now. So one, we have earnings coming, so options premiums are very inflated. Two, once this 1010 event goes through, then there's going to be another wave of option decay. So you're going to have massive kaboom, you know, back-to-back waves of decay on Tesla. And then AMD, apparently they have an AI event. So how could AMD let NVIDIA have an AI event all by themselves and not do one of their own? Totally makes sense. Yeah, did they flip it now? Tesla sell the news before the news. Yeah, that's what I've been saying, right? So like this market, I'd tell you, these meetings are so important in general, and especially now, this market moves so fast, you guys. I mean, I've been around for a while, but every year I feel like the market starts to front run everything just a little bit more. It would typically be like sell the news, but now I see the market selling the news before the news even hits. So yeah, it's wild. And then the actual event ends up being a buy the dip. Who knows? What are these guys looking at? But yeah, this is just crazy. So anyways, this week on deck, we have a handful of stuff. Look at how many speeches. So 4, 8, 9 speeches Wednesday. So today, tomorrow, fairly light in terms of data. So nothing crazy hitting the wire in terms of economic data other than these speeches. But let me tell you, the speeches, I mean, it can be like a whipsaw kind of start to the market. That's what I see. Sometimes they'll say something, the market reacts, and then immediately reverses. Or yeah, so like it could be going up and then immediately sells it off. Or somebody says something one day, the next day somebody else says something new, and the market gets kind of jerky around these times. But when we do get into looking at the indices, what I will say here now, we are coiled, boys and girls. At the index level, I think we've been trending less than the average week's range for the last 2 weeks, inside a very, very tight range. And so if there was a time to be like, oh yeah, we are ripe and ready for a run in either direction, we are definitively ripe and ready for a run. So anyways, let's get on with this. 4 Fed speeches today, 4 tomorrow, 9 speeches on Wednesday. And Wednesday is a big pivot day. So Wednesday, we get the FOMC minutes. Sometimes is a quick market mover. But I will tell you, with all this Fed talk, and then we also have a 10-year note or 10-year bond auction. This Wednesday, like peak data right here, that looks like a whipsaw day to me, no question. So if we're gonna have a pivot, let's say in the market, it's going to be Wednesday, and then Thursday. This is the market's favorite inflation gauge, which I'm interested this Thursday. I don't know if the market's really going to react like it usually does. I'm sorry, my AC's on. I never remembered to turn this air conditioner off. We get a little portable unit. Man, I'll tell you what, in California, or at least San Jose, it's been like 100 degrees the last few days. It's crazy. And I know it's like October. They call it Indian summer. It's like the hottest part of summer. Anyways, sorry for my rant. But so FOMC minutes come out Wednesday. We have 9 Fed speeches, and we have a 10-year note auction. That's like peak data. Maybe just like let it breathe until you get those FOMC minutes, and then see what happens from there. Thursday, and Thursday is 10-10. So Thursday we have the AMD event. We have Tesla. What's up, Bugger? And this is the market's favorite inflation data point, CPI. And like I was saying, I don't know what CPI is if it's gonna be a big market moving event or not. It typically is. So we'll have to see. But again, Powell's been saying, look, we're not really focused on inflation itself. We are more focused on the labor market, right? Which brings us to jobless claims, which we do get, again, every Thursday, as usual. And then Friday, we come in with PPI and consumer sentiment. So one thing I would say, between Thursday and Friday, the market reacts the most on CPI in terms of all the inflation data. It is also the most lagging indicator or data point that we get. So, there's that. PPI, so CPI is consumer price index. That is what inflation has already been. That is what we've clocked so far. It's in the past, right? Then you look forward. So what goes into that? PPI is producer price index, and that's like what your, I don't know, Procter Gamble's, Coke, Pepsi, people that are producing products that go into the economy that consumers purchase. That's their inflation rate, and PPI has actually been pretty light. So I guess it's a question of, does that lighten up or stay light, and do they pass it down to the consumer? Quite frankly, they usually don't pass any like major savings on to the consumer unless it's just like glaring. So little inflections, at this point, probably not going to make a big difference. And consumer sentiment usually comes in about 30 minutes after the open, and that will set the trend for that day on Friday. In terms of earnings, look, we're going to start kicking off earnings soon. Technically, technically, Alcoa or AA used to kick off earnings season, but usually nowadays we get the banks first. So JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, BMY, these are major companies that are starting to kick off earnings on Friday. And then next week, the following week, we start to get a little bit deeper. And then for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to get some heavy earnings. Oh, look at this. We have Tilray on Thursday for the weed stocks. That could be a funky one. We'll see, but nothing really. So we had Delta also Thursday. Yeah, Delta Air Systems after the close. I know a lot of people have been watching Air. This is too much of a small cap. This is a whippy stock for me. I don't know. But Pepsi before the open tomorrow. And one of the guys was looking at this AZZ. I've never seen this ticker before, but go look at like a monthly chart on AZZ. Apparently they do like I don't know, carbon coating in general, but like that stock looks like crazy. I have no idea if it's overpriced or not. And Fastenal is actually a pretty big one too. So all right, that's what we have for the most part. I want to get to Miss Cleo's reading, so let's go ahead and hit that, and then we'll jump into the charts, boys and girls. Let's go. All right. So this is my favorite part of the broadcast. I will say, you know, when I first saw this reading, I'm like, whoa. I don't like this card typically, but this is the card that looks like, you wake up from a nightmare in a pool of blood with a bunch of swords overhead. I know this card, sometimes it's really bad. Sometimes it's not so bad. So I don't know. I feel like this one's up in the air, but it's like nightmarish. This is like, it looks bad, but it's just a nightmare kind of thing. From there, we get the Two of Wands. Tomorrow is the Sun. This is usually a good one. That's usually a good one. I don't know the World. This is our CP. So the World, I don't think I've seen that one. But this is 1010 AMD Advancing AI event. I don't know why Lisa Su would schedule an event on the same day as Tesla's, but whatever. Thursday is the Three of Swords. This is the heartbreak card. That's CPI day. I don't know. And then the Tower, which tends to be a reversal day, actually. So maybe this is a flush down to start going whoop, to the moon. I would love to see that. So that's like, meh, flat, up. I have no idea what this is. Death, basically. And then reverse. All right, that's what Miss Cleo's calling. Let's read what this says. I was just prognosticating. So theme card is the Nine of Swords. Nightmares arrive, but are they dangerous? Yes, there we go. It says fleshy. Miss Cleo, I don't know. Miss Cleo says fleshy. Well, let's see what she says. Nightmares arrive, but the question is, are they dangerous or are they even real? We don't know. It may seem so in the beginning, but in the end, we find that it was nothing at all. All right, so that's definitive. This card usually starts red or tries to, then finishes green or just below it, aka flat. So she's not calling for a breakout. I'm telling you right now, this is set up for a major move. Maybe it's not this week. Sometimes it takes a week to digest these NFP data. But all is that AI? I don't know. But we'll see. Starts red. Therefore, it's likely that we'll be buying dips all week. I can get with that. So today is Monday. Today we got the Two of Wands. Interesting. The Two of Wands begins a new journey, but it's usually a positive one. That doesn't fit too well with the nightmare theme. Does that mean bears are having nightmares? If so, look to sell rallies instead. Well, that would suck. Let's see. Some rallies got sold for sure. We'll know early and look for a pivot midweek. Yeah, I agree. Well, at least the data agrees. Is that Tom? What's up, Tom Crown? Tom Crown starts red, finish the green. So yes. I wish Tom would be able to come over, but he's live streaming. By the way, if you don't know Tom, he's a G. He's got his own YouTube channel. Go check it out. Anyways, this card is low energy but impulsive. If we're red, it's barely. The best case is up 0.7% or so. Then Tuesday is the Sun. We like this card. This card also allows, by the way, Tom Crown or any crypto people, Miss Cleo does do a crypto reading. I only put it in the server though. But it is there if you're in the server. One day, someday, when we're not. But anyway, so this card shows up for crypto. So keep an eye on how we act here to see how it might affect crypto. I'm watching crypto, by the way, very closely. I don't know if it's now, but I think the base is building. I think it's building. The sun comes out to burn the shadows away or to keep our ego in check. If Monday was green, the sun takes us a bit higher and then fades. If it was red, then we pivot for a bounce. However, it doesn't usually trend or finish deep reds or green. Not a trend day. Jonathan. Tom Crown is a doctor. Yes. He's a dentist. He's constantly pulling teeth, dude. Off the hook in the crypto world. Where was I? Finishes closer to flat. Play mean reversion from Monday, but beware that it might not pivot until today's cash session. Okay. Wednesday. So the world, and crypto did pull a card called the world also. Let me see if this, by the way, this is crypto's reading. Crypto got the Hierophant and the world on Friday. Thursday, Hermit. Ooh, okay. The world also loves to mean revert. It arrives to give us hope for a new day during times of stress. Okay. I just don't know. I'm not familiar with this card. For that reason, it skews red. Oh, it skews red. Unlike the sun, the world prefers to trend. Therefore, we're chasing momentum here in the opposite direction of Tuesday. This is 1010. Tessie, 1010. And Ace is here. What's up, man? Also give Ace a follow. He's probably alive as well. Unlike the sun, the world prefers to trend. I mean, geez. The opposite direction of Tuesday, but being leery of an early morning pivot. What does that even mean? Like pop and fade, maybe? Are these for fun? Yeah, these are for fun, Butternut. These are for fun, but I will say astonishingly accurate many times. So there you have it. Thursday is the Three of Swords. So someone is suffering from heartbreak here as their position grows sour and or they realize there's no hope of recovering it. So Zimmy, stay out of short-dated cons. Just wrapped up. Nice. Is it bad? Are we not out of orb? Yeah, we will take a look at that. Often continues the prior day's action, but we're going from a 2 to a 3 from Monday. So I bet there's a chance we continue that result, whatever Monday was. Honestly, it feels like we're moving in a serpentine pattern, weaving in and out of red days and green days. Remember that by now we should know in which direction the nightmares are going. So by Thursday. So if the energy has been dominant in one direction this week, I'd look for a pivot Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Yep, for sure. Threes are low energy, but swords cut. Someone will get bloody. I guess that's appropriate for October. We shall see. And then Friday, the tower is built, and it's built on shaky ground and must eventually collapse so that it can be rebuilt. Yeah, Ace, is this for fun? But it is crazy, you guys, how it actually lines up sometimes. If the market has rallied hard to this point, then we look to do some big selling here. It'll likely appear out of nowhere. However, if the market has been struggling, trending, or chopping, then today could inspire euphoria. Just remember that some of this will eventually sell off, so chase early, not late. I would say this. So if we get a trend, starting tomorrow, Wednesday, that goes through Thursday, and then close, and only... Oh, we're live. Yeah, go check YouTube. You send it, or Twitter. Sorry. Just remember that some of this will eventually sell off. Chase early, not late. Okay. Anyways, let's get recap. A ton of big energy, mean reversion this week. We are starting over from a 2, going to a 3. So it's important to monitor that pattern for next week. Friday should be a big day. Friday, yes, big day. Definitely. But anyways, that's what we have. Let's get out of this. Escape. There we go. And let's go ahead and get into some charts, man. So this is my first view, basically every day. Bitcoin, ooh, looks like we're sitting on the 200-day simple moving average. Yeah, near exactly. This gray line here is the 20-day, if you can't see it. So this is the 200-day here, and the 20-day is sitting here. So very bouncy spot, definitively bouncy spot on Bitcoin. I just don't know. I don't know if this is it, right? It could be. We're holding. So if this was that last higher low, I think we got a second higher low after breaking structure here. Continuation. We need to see this level hold for this continuation, but we're not, let's be clear, we are not out of the woods yet. So guys, please don't get overly euphoric. It might not be time. Be around for it, but beware that we could get this kind of doink and you could get faked out pretty heavily. So just saying, not usually this week, but it usually is. You know, I was looking at a chart the other day and look at this chart for a minute, but it's usually, I think, like on the 16th of October. So this is last year's crypto run, right? The alt rally, something like that. So this started October 20th last year. So you could be a little early. And when you zoom in on this stuff, it'd be like, oh, it looks really good. Dun, dun, dun. And then shellacking, boom. Then you get dumped down for one more dip buy. And then you get rippy. This is through, I think this was through December. And then the final push in like the Q1 of next from there. But this is, I think, still like accumulation. So if we get a shellacking, it'll probably come quicker than you think. And yeah, we'll see. What's going to happen is you're going to get people coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, it's a lower high. And then they might be like, oh, it's a lower low here. But so I would be around for it, but just know we could get one more test that might happen later. So just be weary. This next push, honestly, has to break here for this to get going. And if it doesn't, then we're not ready. And we'll probably know this by Wednesday. That's 68 and change. What is this going to be? 66.5. So we're going to have to break 66.5 this week, essentially. And if we don't, then we're going to stop somewhere just below that. Probably right in this fair value. 66.422. Just telling you now. 430, 66 430s, 65 430, Jesus. Or somewhere in here. So just be aware, once you're in this area, you're in it. And we want to see what happens. And we're basically testing it right here. This is our overhead supply. Tom Cron probably short, who knows? But yeah, this is like, look, I want to be bullish, but I don't want to be euphoric. Be aware. That's what we're dealing with in the crypto space. That said, this is Bitcoin. Ideally, and what happens from here is ideally, this is the total crypto market cap. From here, we would really like, and this is looking a little bit different, right? So this one, we are clean over here. I like this. Total crypto cap. That is a new high, higher lows for sure. This looks a lot better. You know what? Let's do a trend line channel. So as long as we're in this channel, as long as we're channel up to the right, this is fine. And I want to start seeing like Solana, Ethereum have higher daily gains percentage wise than Bitcoin. So like when you looked at Ethereum earlier, you know, this setup looks better than Bitcoin, whereas Bitcoin has not breach that last high. Ethereum did. I believe Solana did also, but doesn't mean it's out of the woods, right? Both of these, yeah, it did also. So relatively stronger price action, relatively, than Bitcoin. On the alts, this is what we want to see. Just that combination of Bitcoin dominance waning while total crypto market cap continuing to channel up. This is all good for the alt season. And you guys want to be on MSTR or whatever. Well, I guess this is about the same. It's not, we don't know. Like Bitcoin, probably if this goes, you get your 100K. So call it 50% up from here. I want the altcoins at my 200%. Can we see? Yeah, we'll do coin. We're just going over the like majors right now. So majors are like SPY, Qs, diamonds, IWM, other things in watch like crude. I have a Bitcoin was important right now. Silver, I have a chart on. I don't think we need to watch the VIX at all. I could care less. It's not really relevant. But let's do this. So here is Friday's high, right? And this is, oops, not this one. We can take off the strat stuff for now. But as long as we're inside of last Friday's range, which, by the way, crystal clear, we are. This is SPY's NFP level for the month, right? What we're looking for is we're looking for a full daily open and close outside of Friday's high or low to define the trend. When you're inside the range, guys, don't chase shit. You're going to go level to level. You're going to bounce. You're going to get chopped up like crazy, right? And it's going to go really, it's fib to fib. So from, oops, not that tool. This, keep grabbing the wrong tool. From this low to this high, 618, boom, right there, right? Same thing from this high to this low, 0.5. And you're if you're thinking that you're going to break out, no, look, from this high to this low, boom, you're going fib to fib until you get out of this area. But this is the box that you're stuck in, and it's getting smaller and smaller. I would literally, you need to expect range bound trade for now until you can get out of this box. You're not going anywhere until you get out of that box, and do not expect to have a trend one way or the other. If this whole thing, and then by the way, this is like 2 weeks of consolidation that I was talking about earlier. So from here, I think to here, this is how many weeks? This is come on. Yeah, 16 days, 15, 16 days. 2 weeks of really just going nowhere on SPY. Guys, we are for sure almost 20, a little over 2 weeks. We are very, very much ready to make a move, but don't front run it. Just wait till it's ready before you start going to the moon. Because look, I'll tell you what, if you get chopped up waiting, anticipating a move, this is not going to be fun, like at all. So this, by the way, this is from this consolidation here. If we do break out to the upside, I'm going to grab our orange box here. This is an average week's range. That takes us to 580s on SPY. I would say like from here to here, this kind of extension, fib extensions, that's what you have to use when you're at all-time highs. 100% extension of essentially this box here brings you to that level right here at 580, also lining up with an average week's range. If we break down, and let's say this is the high for the week, downside is 560, and really just retesting this whole level right in here. So both of these areas make perfect sense to me. Downside 560, retest this prior resistance level. Upside for the breakout is to 580. And when you get to 580, just be really careful. So there's this trend line that I've kind of drawn here. It's going to go, let's do this. We are here. we're kind of sitting on it just barely. The inverse, the reverse. So it can go like this easily. And you could get the whole thing both ways. So just know, if you're at 580, my point is, if you're at 580, you're retesting the bottom of this trend. So be very careful. This is when the bears might come out. But this looks pretty choppy so far. I would say it's ready for a run, but be patient, super patient. That's what's important, at least for any swing setups. Similar setup here. This is our consolidation area. Fridays, levels. Again, look, we're not out of the range. October, NFP high, 486. The problem I have with the Qs is that you have a pretty heavy NFP zone above that's going to act as overhead resistance from over here. This is July's NFP. And so for now, this is kind of like your overhead supply. And even if I think your better shots are towards the lows, to me, let's get some of this stuff out. But it's the same thing. Right now, you're just expecting to stay inside this range. Don't press a short below 482. This is not happening yet. No, we're not going higher either, but we're definitively, look, we're just staying right in this box. So just know this is how this works every single time. And it's all about how the market digests the move. And right now, we are having a little indigestion at the moment. So Q is just really stuck in the mud. We're going to move. This range is getting smaller and smaller. We're going to move, but it's not ready to roll. Just wait. Where's my weekly range? Anyways, I would say, so an average week's range, I would say if you do reclaim 490, 50, you're definitely getting up to 496. That's probably going to be an average week's range. On a week like this, we could extend, right? And then there's a big old gap since we've been having like very small weekly moves. If we do lose this it's 482 and change, I would call it 480, and really like this whole level down here. If we do lose that, we're likely going to see the 50-day. You'll know definitively at the 20 where it could get a little choppy. So here's this. And that brings you to like 465s. So just be aware. That's where we are. It's a little early to take the shot. I think that your better areas are towards the lows and this general consolidation here. So 482.39 is going to sit just underneath the last 2 weeks point of control. So again, 2 weeks, these markets have gone absolutely nowhere, high and tight at the highs, but we'll see. IWM is a little bit more interesting. So IWM, if you don't know, it doesn't exactly like it. It doesn't respect the NFP levels like the rest, but it does like to wick, meaning like it likes to wick in and out of them. So we're towards the bottom end of this range. This one, I would expect a bigger bounce, right? And also, since we're in the lower end of this consolidation, if this ends up being like a little liquidity grab, I think you take it. But I think that's more around the 215, 214s area. If we have a little flush out like this, bounce, and then come back in, we should be good. But we're sitting literally on the 20-day. Today, we might close below it for the first time in a while, but it's kind of like a choppy area. The 50-day is right below us, so it's not like there's a it's not in a spot where we're gonna have a ton of velocity one way or the other. Not to me at least. But 213s would be like that's honestly that's the lows. Anything below that, no, we're going down. We're going down to the 200s, but ideally, look, there's not a lot of overhead on us here. So as long as we can hold over 220s, probably later this month, then we should be on track for like 230s and 240s, near 240s later on this year. That would be ideal. Right here. And that would be your big old, let's call it like cup and handle break you out on IWM. Let's just get to the daily like this. That would be what I'm looking for. So just careful. Can get a little choppy. All right. Last one. I think we did crude. So like crude is almost feel like I'm not wanting to take any net new longs. It's a little extended, gotta say. And at the primary target, crude has been in this like same exact range forever. So right in here from that just sub 60s, constantly bouncing right in here, or sub 70s, sorry. So sub 70s been bouncy, and then it gets up to this 85 level. I don't know that I want to, yeah, this is one where like, look, there's some macro events that could happen. And if you're going to be short crude here, probably not the best situation. This is that key pivot right there. It's just under 80, so 79 bucks. I would keep that on watch, but let's go ahead and grab this. Yeah, just under 80. That's where that point of control is. So you're going to run into some heavy overhead supply real soon on crude. But the oil stocks themselves, I actually don't think it's going to matter that much. Maybe they get, maybe they take a rest for a little while. But remember, any of these US like refiners and things, they make money as long as crude's over 45. So I'm happy there. All right, guys. So that's it for the majors. Let's go ahead and take a look at some individual tickers. I just, oh, look at that. AMD is still alive. I hope I didn't get stopped out. I may have gotten stopped out. Let's see. So AMD, this one, just going to do a little bit larger view. I posted something on Twitter earlier or later, like last night, middle of the night, connecting these two highs. We did this review on a MIT stream last week, but look, so today, now, this was my level. I actually took another shot at it. I think that we could get pretty high because I didn't see AMD really. I don't know if this advancing AI event was really publicized beforehand, because I didn't even know about it. So we might not have gotten like the pre-event run because there wasn't a lot of coverage on it. We are very tight on all the simple moving averages. This is looking good. There's a clean session gap to 177. So, and this heavy low volume pocket that we are in, we are filling the gap here. We held today right here, 168. So for sure, this was the first key pivot level. We wanted to see this 159s hold. We did. Over 164, you're breaking out. We are breaking out. And now what we want to see is we just want to see a series of higher highs and higher lows and just kind of monitor the trade. So to that end, this was the last higher high. I want to see that actually end up being the low. So what I want to see from AMD right now is I want to see this hold. And so far we're getting it, higher low here. So I want to see this higher low. Really, it could be anywhere down to 164. That's fine. Semis are choppy. I'm probably going to swing this just because we have this event coming this week. But it's not like a big swing. It's like a 2 day thing, maybe. And I think that we could get a pretty heavy, boom, get sucked right up in there to 180s, just under 180s, 177s before Wednesday, based on just the setup right now. Looks kind of good. So now we want to see another higher high. Where's that going to be? Right there. Basically tomorrow. Crazy. All right, let me scroll up and see what we got for your requests. Oh man. You guys are you're just loading them up. Okay. SNC, I had news. Yeah. Let's go. Bucker is on. This is the defensive cabinets for sure. I know RTX, we've been looking at that LMT, I don't trade. RTX has tighter options, option spreads, like bid-ask spreads. So I think it's a little easier to trade. So I'm just going to go on a daily. Daily, this looks like, hey, look, we're starting to flag out super tight here on your moving averages. Earnings later this month. I'm going to look 8,000 calls to 3,000 puts. Not a lot of volume, to just be cautious. October 18th, 135 calls. Those are YOLOs. 127 calls. Looks like, I'm sorry. So October 18th, 127 calls. We are at 125 right now. So they're just trading for one more press to the upside. I think that's more than fair. And as long as you're over, really, if you close at the highs today, you're probably good. And you don't want to have weeklies necessarily, although there's a good amount of open interest. It's not crazy. They're just nasty open interest on the 130s for the 18th, but I think they're selling those. But it's a slower mover. Yeah, they're definitely selling those. So they might be like 127, 128. I don't want that as a debit spread. Maybe like 127s for next week. This is like YOLO option chain, man, I will say. But yeah, if you get a close over 125.50, you look good to go. You held for sure here. There. So 123 would be kind of like you're in this consolidation. So where does this take you? Let's go ahead and do a quick extension. It's probably going to be that 127. Just to keep expectations realistic. Yeah, 127 right there. Potentially up to just under 128. That's it. That's it for this next one on RTX. AXON. I never ever trade this options. We do this one. This is just a buy it, own it. You're fine, dude. This is like one of the best performers in the market right now. But no, I'm not. No shot will you get me even thinking about options. There's only 500 options traded today in general on this entire option chain. No. But the stock looks great. I'm going to pass on this one too. Looks like a decent spot, but you're killing me because I'm an options trader. And dude, this is 1300. You're going to have to give me some context here, or I'm going to move on. No. All right. SLB. SLB is oil. I think still nice run off the lows. It's about 10% move into heavy overhead supply. Let it breathe. Yeah, oil I think can breathe. Such thing as he's just a big base for sure. And Christian wants NVIDIA. All right, so NVIDIA, I think we were here. Yeah. All right, so you're right. You've broken out so far. Typically, I don't chase this first move, but it is NVIDIA. What I would say is this area here, also important where it is. You have a lot of overhead supply here. Here. That's to 130s. So psychological level at 130 for sure. What the better entry here now on NVIDIA is going to be similar to what we saw on AMD, is where you get a pullback, retest of this broken trend line, and then you go. So I would like to see that on NVIDIA for a better entry. Otherwise, you can take it. As I'm talking about net new, only if you're breaking and holding here. And I would still just be really cautious because it's like critical mass of here, 131.26. So if you're already long, you could stay long, but you need to get out if it fails below, from a short-term trading perspective. If it fails below 127.62, whatever this last high is. If it fails below that, no, don't hang around, because it, and even this pullback is not likely to be like, you know, seconds. It could just be a chop, right? And then go. So you see this tag, and then you're going to look for essentially like a higher low after, right? And then you'll jump in. That's what that's going to look like. Otherwise, I mean, stay long. Don't trade this short yet, unless you see that failing. And that, I mean, extension over 131 brings you to the 150s on this guy. It just does. Let's see. All right, we got NVIDIA twice. Yeah, 5 trillion market cap on the whole crypto. Yeah, that's good. JT wants Generac. I would probably fade this, dude. I haven't even looked at the chart, but this is the hurricane stock. Generac, if you don't know, they do like what the fuck? They do like, no, dude. You can't chase that. This has got to be news. This is like hurricane stock, but it's a good company. Generac is DuPont. Did I miss it? Netflix. Generac. Yeah, Hurricane Milton. Is a hurricane stock, my man. So like what happens is like whenever you're in hurricanes, these guys do generators. It's the impulse. I don't think you've chased that. It's not. Don't expect any extension unless you have like another hurricane, for sure. But I think net you can be long for quite a while. Like not a short term hold. Like you could just begin to own this. If that makes sense, as long as it's holding over really like 140s, mid 140s. Nolan, I think this was, you guys are on the coin. Nolan wants 180. I think so, but remember, so I like coin for the altcoin situation, not for Bitcoin itself. I want to see what happens like today and tomorrow. Still very interesting to me. Very interesting to me. So I think at least we get to retest this here. Let me change this to like a weak array. So we are looking for this right in here. All right. So this brings us to 180. So it's going to be important what happens at 180. So I'm not selling this here. I think at 180, and essentially this is going to come back to this level here. I think we get there, maybe even like tomorrow, to be honest, as long as we're holding this 20-day, which it looks like we are. I don't think this is selling off. I think if it was going to, they would have. You're still kind of creating this little bit of a base right now, right in here. So as long as we're holding over this, look, man, I like this. I don't think anybody's coming in and shorting the crypto space. What I don't know about this is like, hey, what you know, what's the valuation essentially on Coinbase? I think Miss Cleo has it right on this. Is like it's like buy the dip buys in this area towards the lows, or if you see anything underneath 170, which I don't think that we do. I'm absolutely playing this with ConL equity, Coinbase equity, and options. But the options are smaller dollars, just so you know. And I haven't decided, like, do I want to go full blown YOLO, long dated? Because these things are expensive. It's almost like a semi where, you know, AMD, NVIDIA, I prefer to day trade. So just know when I really hit this, it's gonna be a day trade. If you guys are in the server, it's gonna start as a day trade. and I'm probably going to swing it for 72 hours, 36 to 72 hours from that day trade. So the day trades, I'm not looking to take I'll take my principal out quickly, and then I'm really going to let the runners run. Trying to do it now. I have a little bit on 1018, 200s. I know it sounds wild, but 202 plus is like, honestly, this is like primary. This could happen quickly. So we have a hard inefficiency in the market at 190. I think this could be setting up, shit, man. This could be happening literally as we speak. So this is last Friday's high, guys. It's not. So the thing is, it's not breaking down. So as long as this is here, we have a pretty heavy low volume pocket to fill here, and we have a hard session gap way up here, 190. So yeah, I mean, I'm still here, but I'm not like over leveraged to the point where, if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna cry. I mean, I might cry anyways, but it's not going to hurt me specifically. So this is what we want to see. Can we get a little bit of a dip buy? Yeah, sure. I think so. When we get to this 180, 190 level, assuming we get there, then we want to be really cautious, right? So I don't want to be pressing anything major. So you might get this. And then as long as we can hold this general trajectory, see this downtrend? Or uptrend. So if this is the uptrend, I want to see us get back to it. That's to here. And what happens here at this first pivot is going to be important, right? Because I do expect that we pull back a little bit. This will probably, it could be a big pullback. This is like $5 pullback. It's possible that you get like a $5 pullback and then you come back again, hold, and then reclaim that trajectory. So that's ideal, what I want to see. If that makes sense. So long now, safety trim, call it 180, big trim 190s. And then if we can hold that, I might end up reloading. If we get through and we do this around 180 again, I'm going to reload over here. Does this make sense? So that's ideal. That's what I'd be looking for. But I need to see it come in from the top and retest here. It might even look like a little bit of a delta. I'd rather see that breach just slightly like that. And I would like this as a setup. But again, you're underneath this. Just be careful. I don't want to see this. That's what I don't want to see. All right. Cool. So Baba, I'm not going to DM China. Why UMC? Joshua. Baba is 200 weeks. That purple line is a 200 week simple moving average. These look kind of stuck, but China's coming back online, I think next week. Ooh. Okay. So because we have these gaps like this. So if you close over a session gap like this, you're likely going to continue to the upside. So you have this gap filled. You see here, just as a historical example. So see how you never really get a clean, strong close above this last one? You get one, but that is not clean at all, right? As opposed to that today, we are getting so far much cleaner close above. So I think this continues through that 120 as long as you're over 116.80. Baba. And you're looking for 130s. Next stop, you're looking for this area. In here. So I think you got another, what's it trading at now? 16? That's like $15. Go for it, dude. I like it. China's coming back. Mañana. Yeah, Thomas, I know, Eric. This is too headline driven, and I'm unfortunately not really up to date with the systems or what they have going on. I believe they have a partnership, something going on with AMD, and I know they have something with Tesla. So this could be an interesting mover plus earnings. It's a good technical spot to take a shot, technically speaking. but they have earnings. These guys have like the triple whammy. Tesla 1010 impacts Air Systems. AMD advancing AI 1010 impacts Air Systems. And then earnings 1010. So they have like a triple whammy, man. I don't know. This stock could double on 1010. It's that kind of squeezy. Or it could get cut in half on 1010 also. So, well, you know what? I wouldn't say it's going to get cut in half. I think your risk to reward is long here, but it's you're going to know instantly. I think your possible risk is the tens, like low $10. So that's like 30% from here. This is a penny stock, man. Penny stock. I can't go with it as a investment grade. Market cap's way too small, but it looks squeezy. It looks like it's gonna squeeze right now. Oh, IVAX is Costco. So I went to Costco this weekend. Didn't anybody else go to Costco this weekend? No? I'll tell you what. Costco was out of toilet paper and paper towels. They didn't have any. Or baby formula. Crazy. Well, they had like the brand name. They didn't have the Costco brand. But I don't know. So apparently, did you find Midwest? Were you able to find any toilet paper? Because they didn't have any at my Costco at all. And I was like, what is happening? So that was weird. That's the port strikes. So the port strikes actually impacted my Costco's. I mean, I heard about people running into Costco, buying up all the toilet paper. Yeah, but apparently, they won't let you return it either because people bought too much. So you overstocked. They'll be back soon. I think that if you see Costco rebounding, look, Costco always has this kind of earnings price action. So earnings sell off. Here's the 50-day. If you see Costco rebounding in this area, right around 860, 865s, and defending the 50-day, this is a long. Don't fight this. I know the PE is like 50s and something astronomical. Just don't fight it. I would see this jumping $100 in your face, from like 870 to 970 for potential breakout. So just beware. This right here is this prior breakout. They've been buying it in this area. Don't expect this to break. I don't expect this to break here. I expect this to hold. This probably becomes like a Microsoft level around 400, where it looks ugly, but like, no, it never really breaks down. And this is always ends up being a buy. Actually, speaking of Microsoft, I think, just looking at this chart, this looks pretty good. Let me grab this. I hate my wrist and my gets like tightened up, and my mouse is way too sensitive. Look at this. Where's FUT? I think this is a long. And be like, no, it's breaking. I think that if this breaks back over 415, 50, this ends up being like a little liquidity grab. And this red line is a 200-day simple moving average. These can get really choppy. Maybe not today, but this looks like a long. And if it's not, then yeah, then you come back into 400s, but you're not breaking down. Microsoft's not a short. if Ava's around, she had a 435 calendar on Microsoft that my gut was like, yeah, this is probably going to be golden. Earnings on 822. So you would probably do like a long November, short October, 435 call. Not that that's going to get you much. I see volume up there though. 435 is right in here. So this is actually probably, if Microsoft rebounds here, it's probably along into that 440 area, possibly higher. Just saying. All right, so that was Microsoft. Good, you guys got that. Oh, Jonathan, appreciate the sub for sure. You guys rock. All right, a couple requests for Amazon. So we'll go through this. Amazon is a similar story. So Prime Day starts today or tomorrow? When Prime Day? You guys gonna make me open my app? I think it's today. Not that it matters. Tomorrow, October 8th and 9th. I don't know. How many Prime Days do they have? It seems like there's a lot more, and it's probably baked in. I'm just looking at this. Honestly, I don't see that. I wouldn't. Before you guys asked me if I wanted it long up here, I said no. I don't want it long up here because it's too close to this. And Bezos was waiting for you, right? And here we are. So like what I would say is this is probably a better area to go ahead and take that shot again. Amazon always gives you an opportunity. So like, I mean, just know that. I'm not going to use this very super low wick. I'm just going to use the wick right before it. I think this is generally where you do want to take a shot. So all of this area, let me just take these moving averages off. This area here is definitely congestion zone, let's say. Yeah, they're accumulating towards that. Why are people accumulating towards the highs up there? I don't know. Looks like most people are down on their Amazon position. Weird. We're mostly selling it around 185. You need to see it reclaim here. I think there was a downgrade on Amazon today. Am I wrong? Yeah, rewind Daniel, and NVIDIA, it's there. It's kind of tough. I mean, so the better spot is honestly, it's going to be in this 175 area. If it fails, if it fails, like, and this is the same thing for Microsoft. If they fail, I think go ahead and take the short on both of them, but it's for a short time, not a long time. This would have to go now, and it does not look like it's happening at the moment. It's a decent spot, but knowing that the point of control for all of this is way up here, I just think it might need to go a little bit lower to 175s. It was similar with Google. It was like Google was looking like it was going to try to go 1, 2, 3. Not this one, maybe next one. So give it a pullback to 60s, 150s, high 150s, right in here. And that would be your better retest like this. And then you'd have that big old, invert head and shoulders on a larger time frame. That would be it better. JL Celsius. So Pepsi reports this week. I think tomorrow. We got to see what they say. This is falling knife. So far, it's funny, not funny. So far, it's a falling knife. I'm gonna get assigned. I'm okay, and I will instantly start selling some upside calls on it probably. But yeah, just wait. Pepsi's gonna report if they have anything to say about Celsius. That'll probably move the stock also. So just know there's catalyst there. This is not going higher yet. One downgrade and one upgrade to 240. Oh, that's probably on AMD. Yeah. Oh, Thomas. Yes. Tiger. Absolutely. It's Tiger and here's another one. Starts with the F. You know. So Tiger is it's a trading platform, right? China tech. Yeah, you have to YOLO this, like way out of the money. Crazies. FUTU Holdings is the other one. Look, China. These are the same company. Well, not the same company, but they do the same thing. This is squeezy China. All right. I think we're good. Yeah, we got most of these. Yeah, Victor, good call. Yep, that's the one. Celsius is the new Bucky. No, Frankie. Celsius is much worse than Bucky, but somebody did request Bucky. I did see that. Bucky at least stopped going down. Celsius is not. Jesus. So, I mean, I don't think you're going down. Look, the Bears tried. They had many, many opportunities here. You're going to have earnings coming. Go for it. Go for it. But just know everybody will and should be out before they report. So, it's not quite ready. But you got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's right at these highs. This is a YOLO. It's probably going to start moving soon. When do they report? They report on November 27th. Ooh, so you might have a while before this goes. This is like November's. And nothing crazy. Is it just me or these seem expensive? They're not that expensive. 40 percentile. 38,000 calls, 7,000 puts. Yeah. A lot of sold calls in the 120 areas. Just saying. A lot of sold calls in the 120 areas. Even 118 and 119s. I mean, you can take a shot, but the shot is not here. I would take the shot towards the bottom half of this. This just looks like stuck in the mud, man. Did I do ASTS? I don't usually cover these. Just they're too small cap. 7 billion is not. Oh, this is the space one. No, this looks interesting. I do have to be like pretty clear. I don't follow the news flow on this, and this is going to move heavily on news flow. Technically speaking, it's just a big pivot. It's not, I mean, I'm not really convinced yet. So like this is different. And I know I'm on a smaller time frame, but let's see. So I'm connecting this one and this one. So like here looks fine, but the real like wicks to the top, like you're gonna hit this $28 right in here. So this looks good now to here. And then you're gonna wanna see it hold in here and continue on. This looks like the start of something interesting as we speak. It's just a wild one. It's a wild one. So this is what you're going to be looking for. Just be careful, because if this fails at any time like this, get out. You gotta keep a close eye on that. But this looks good right here, right now. Actually, EVgo, I really don't watch this. No, something happened already. Ion Q. I forgot this one. I don't remember what this does. These all look like they're setting up for reversals. I still have my Iridium. Nah, these have earnings soon. I trimmed a little bit. Oh, good thing I did. Yeah, so you got earnings here. October 17th. Not quite a breakout. Still range bound, but from the lows, it's fine. Just want to see this level hold. 29.62, which is sitting on it right now. It's an old company, man. So this is not a day I close. It was a day I trim here, but today not a day I close. Just let this play out, see how it goes. Oh, last one, and then we'll do HT. Okay. Fun fact, all those stickers are old space. I love it. All right. HT has been on a ripper. By the way, do you guys know Kitty Cat is over 400? Or at least it was. Yeah, good God. Home Depot, I have a hard time chasing up here. Our longs were better down here. I did not catch the majority of this run at all. I think you got to let this breathe. This is also rates play. So where rates would still play is like home builders and things like that. Oh, I have one that I want to look at. I didn't look at it yet. So I think that rates probably bottom right now after that like big kind of jolt downside. And TLT probably reverses back up here. If that makes sense. Did I say that right? Rates bottom or rates top? And bonds bottom. I think you could be long TLT here. And so HT, if the rates come back in, then I think this will continue on. And in the meantime, I would rather be a dip buyer around this just under 400 level. But this is, again, peak. This is tough. Near all-time highs. This is something that's going to take a while to build and base. So it's going to be like this. If this move wasn't enough to push it all the way through, like net longs, building position for sure. And this would be like all-time high. But if this move isn't enough to get it through, then it's got to come down a little bit more. And like I said, just reaching that $400 mark for the next liquidity grab, and then it'll try again. And if it can't, then it's going to come down a little bit lower, then try again. And ideally 4 times, no more than 4 times. I would let this try to break out. But you're going to have earnings soon. After a big move like this, it's going to be tough. What I can say is Home Depot typically mid to late December is just to auto buy and you get a nice run. So that's at this point probably the next one I'm going to look at. Yeah, Catalina. Yeah. Cat is a database name. It's crazy, man. How do you pronounce oil? Ah! No, I don't have it. Oil. I don't know. Cement. I was born in Georgia, in Atlanta, actually. So TNA. Oh, sorry. Before I get there, so Dollar Tree. All right. I wanted to look at this. I read somewhere Dollar Tree was like a top pick. I'm like, what? For recovery? Did anybody read that? I don't know. But this is interesting spot. I would not be pressing any shorts on Dollar Tree, but let's go ahead and put this on watch for DLTR. Possible bounce, possible violent bounce ahead of earnings. But this thing's down 50%. I don't know if it's justifiably down 50%. You guys tell me. Over 50%. I mean, really? I get it's a dollar store, but I don't know. I'm not really buying that should be down this low. And I did see that it was somebody's top pick. We've got this liquidity grab area here that is defending. And this red line, I think, is really like, that's kind of like the level that we want to see it get over. So for now, heavy watch. Inside here, post earnings, I'm just saying, here, I want to watch for a 2 to 3 candlestick reversal on like the 3 hour in this area between 69 and 67. If this level defends, I think you do it. It's been de-risked for sure. And we want to be long the consumer. There's not a lot of flow. They're going ham on some YOLO out of the money calls. They're stupid. These are stupid flows. I'm seeing like somebody's buying in like slam 125 lots. They're paying 100 for these dollar options. You guys tell me if this is Mikey or not. This looks like a Mikey thing. It's crazy. On the 1018 100s. This is coiled though. So it's going to be like this. If this holds, it's literally here. You would have to see this. Pink. Boom. Is what that would look like. And then where to? So it is this 100, but we'll take this. Call it half gap. 80s. 84. They're like, it's cooked. Or is it just a bad store? It's possible. Probable. I have to admit, I don't shop here, so I don't know. if I were to YOLO something here, would probably be 75s. Like, let's see, when do they have earnings next? Earnings November 27th. We gotta wait for the trigger. I don't have a trigger here, but if you get a trigger, this would be a starter, and then this would be an average up here. Just put it on watch. DG. I mean, they're the same. I mean, these all got absolutely shellacked. I mean, this is shellacked. But they're both right in that same level. Like, this is crazy, man. I mean, is this real? That's a bit too far. These were months like godlike stocks. 5 below. They all got completely hammered. So I guess the question is it overdone? I don't know. Yeah, trash. Go for it. We'll wish no. It will not. All right, guys. I'm gonna do one more because we're way over. And IWM. You know what? We go ahead. So the request was for TNA. I think you rewind, go back and look at IWM. And usually, and kind of like use that to your advantage. But we really, this is the level, right? We want to see this here hold somewhere in here, and then we're good. So like this is TNA. You don't really want to chart leverage options. It's kind of pointless. You need to chart the underlying. So just know that this is where we are on TNA. It can get a little choppy, but we want to see this really just this area generally defend right in here. And that's where we are, right? IWM is similar, but different just because it's not leveraged. You don't have to deal with all that shenanigans. We're over, right? So the deal is here, this lower area. So right now we're in the box. We're in the upper box. We left the lower box. We're in the upper box. Ideally, we want to see this area defend. Can it pull back a little bit? Yeah, sure. But net, we are looking over here. Here. So I want to see this base out and then giddy up and go. This is also going to line up to your kind of like 20. And so you're sitting on the 20-day simple moving average. If we fail, then yeah, we'll see straight into that 214s. And that's it. I don't think we get down here, but this is like worst case scenario. This thing falls to 207 or whatever. But yeah, I think this is where you want to see it, at least base out and get there. I think somebody asked the questions about banks. This does get me to that point. So inside, so big banks, I think net interest margins get a little bit flushed out here. We're going to have earnings coming at the end of the week, so just take that for what it is. They don't usually move a whole lot, but inside IWM, you have KRE, smaller banks. I think that the lower rates probably help them a little bit more. So that's still bullish for me on lenders in general. So small banks, I like. Big banks, I think are kind of like just chopping, if that makes sense. Cool. Oh, I do like it. Do you guys watch this? This thing is wild. TMDX. I always type it wrong. But you're losing it, man. I don't know. Market cap now 4.5 billion. this has got to be news flow. Whatever the news flow is right now, I'm not super familiar with this stock. I missed this whole thing. Technically, this looks like it's going to roll over, but we'll have to see. It could. I think this is, if you're going to add, this is kind of like your area that you want to see it defend. You're technically, dude, below this volume shelf. So you're in the box where people have historically purchased. I think it's probably late for a short. And you want to see what happens inside this area. So do they continue to buy this dip or not? This is like day one, fully inside. Coming into earnings on the 6th. This kind of looks like a typical profit taking into it, but technically speaking, I don't know, right? Like this could be right back to 100 or a little bit lower. I think it's going to come into this. This looks like a little trepidation into this next one, next earnings. Kramer says Dollar Tree is the worst. Dude, I disagree. Wall Street Boots Alliance is the worst stock. Oh no, I'm wrong. That's no longer in the S&P 500. Price target on AMD $177. Kabam. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to call it right there. I appreciate all your support. It's been fun. It's been real. And we will catch you on the next one. Adios.